Alrighty. Is it all right if I ask you a few questions that's related to the topic of dance?
Yes, that would be fine.
All right. What is your name and what is your job related to dance?
My name is Beverly Meyer, and my job related to dance is a teacher.
All right. What age did you start dancing and what was your motivation to carry on from there?
I started dancing when I was 3 years old, and my motivation was that I love music, and what the dance putting music and dance together was really fun for me.
Yeah. So growing up, were there some like famous dancers that you knew of or kind of looked off of for inspiration?
Yes, there were quite a few back when I was dancing or learning dance. Gene Kelly was one of them. Louis Dupron, who came in and into Colorado, and we went to a convention. He was a very, very good tap dancer. And there are several. Joe Tremaine, who's in California, and he's still teaching, and he's old, but he's good. So quite a few.
Yeah, nice. So obviously you're a dance teacher. So when did you start teaching dance, and what was the types of dance that you taught?
I started teaching dance at 15 years old in my parents' basement, and I taught tap, jazz, ballet, and sometimes we did some tumbling and acrobatics.
Yeah, it's fun. So have you taught like real young children during that time?
Yes, I have. I've taught the little tiny tots, what I called them, for several years. When my daughter was 3, she started to take dance with me then, and she was the only one in the class that cried. But usually they all started at 3, and they were very good, very good, and fun to have.
Yeah. Do you still teach them now?
Yes.
Yeah.
To tiny tots.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do you teach them to remember the moves, or what is how do they best learn kind of to remember what they're taught?
Well, the best thing you can do is to repeat the steps as much as you can, and then make a special name for them. Like in tap, if you say shuffle, and sometimes that is for the young ones a word that they usually don't hear.
Yeah.
So then you're going to say, we're going to brush our foot forward and backwards, and forward and backwards.
Yeah, and that special music you put to the word, and then they remember it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So obviously you've been teaching tap now, been teaching tap now. And you know a lot about it. How has tap been changing over time? From when you first started teaching, and or from when you first started learning tap?
Tap is a very, very important dance. And unfortunately, in the last maybe 5 years or so, tap hasn't been quite as important as dancers think. They all into hip hop now, and
contemporary,
all those other kind of things. But tap is the basics for all of dance, and it always has been. If you think about what the rhythm, timing, all that kind of thing that goes along with everything else, and if you watch the hip hop, their feet are moving basically in a lot of tap styles.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, sorry, were you gonna?
I'm done.
Okay. Also, leading with that, I was gonna ask if you think tap dance has kind of been like dying out over the past, or like not as popular, and why do you think that is?
I think it is because most kids want to do jazz or hip hop or something, like that, rather than tap. And tap is a little more difficult to do. It isn't as easy as doing hip hop and jumping around, and there's just more to it.
What are some important skills or moves that you think are important for every dancer to know or learn?
Well, every dancer should be able to learn tap for the rhythm, do jazz because it's fun,
Yeah.
ballet because it is the best for you. It's been around for ever and ever, way before any other type of dance. And you put all that together and you make a round what I was going to say.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, you're going to make, your whole body is
different dynamics.
Dynamics.
Yeah,
that's
dynamics.
a good word.
Yeah,
that's a good word.
Yeah. Do you know any interesting history about a certain topic of dance, or about a type of dance? Sorry.
The one that comes to my mind is he was a black dancer. His name was Mr. Bojangles, and he did tap, and he was just awesome. And this was way, way back, like in the late 1800s, I believe, early 1900s. And I think that's what started the whole vaudeville kind of where, the people were all doing stage work and everything in vaudeville, and that what brought dance to the United States, because a lot of those, Charlie Chaplin and all those, dancers. But I would say Mr. Bojangles was one of the best.
And to wrap it all up, why do you think dance is so important?
Dance is so important because it makes the dancer feel important. And the more you do it, the more you feel in your heart that, wow, I'm learning something and I'm doing great at it and I love it. And that's the most important thing, is loving what you do.
That's awesome.